environmental history has of late been able to make some space in Indian academia, as well as, uh, you know, obviously environmental history has been still developing as a discipline. This is, we all are aware of it. But much of the writing on environmental history revolve around the theme of the 19th and 20th centuries. The medieval and early modern period has rarely been explained and examined, especially you hardly read in any journal, or you don't have such specific monographs which keep nature at the center of discussion for medieval or early modern period. Now, one of the challenges is that the absence of the explicit nature-related descriptions in medieval chronicles. Now, the available sources are full of political and economic information, but the subject of nature are seemingly missing in these sources. I think that a major reason for the historians' lack of heed to medieval environmental history, or for that matter, of early modern times, has been the fact that that South Asian environmental history has normally, coiled around the discourse on colonialism. We often see that how, the coming of the British was a kind of a watershed moment in human nature relationship. Now, the research question in all these works have been actually driven by enormous availability of the archival sources, which are available in various regional archives and the National Archives of India and in London. So, of course, one of the prime reasons is the fact that colonial period documents contain numerous data and information related to land, forests, for that matter, rivers, animals, or even weather. Now, such obvious and very definitive information is actually absent in much of the early modern sources. And therefore, what we do is that we, as researchers of history, leave the seemingly sour fruits and then seize the low-hanging ripest fruits first. So the question arises, how do we write environmental histories of pre-modern times? One of the ways could be combining the available sources with the vernacular literature. We may use the nature descriptions in vernacular as some kind of emotional relationship of human with nature. In recent few years, historians have started doing environmental literary criticism of, fictional novels. It is actually termed as eco-criticism. Now, through eco-criticism, various nature elements have been studied in relation to humankind. Historians around the globe now have started using literary texts as a means of some kind of uncanning of the historical relationships. Obviously, when I say historical relationships in the context of nature, it's about the human and environment relationship. So eco-criticism actually argues that environment is not exclusively the material aspect of the past. And it also encompasses the human practice of an environmenting. Now, we can know about the way we human beings have lived, or, they have perceived their natural surroundings through the text. Obviously, there are many works coming up on such issues. But in my work and through my argument, uh, I would suggest that in many ways we may actually complement the historical interpretation through literary analysis. In general, as history researchers, what we do is that we tend to evaluate the text of their veracity, and then we look for small pieces of information to illustrate, the larger historical development. So the texts in that sense are treated as some sort of documents, isn't it? Now, contrary to this practice, when we write literary history, we have to emphasize on the singularity of the particular text. Our thrust has normally been on seeing how the text says, what it says, and what it indirectly tries to say. So we talk about the poet's indirect message. Now, there is no question the fact that for a complete picture, it is also essential that these texts which we are reading are also historicized.